Did you know that the average American household has 300,000 items? From clothes to gadgets, we are surrounded by things. Yet, we still feel the urge to buy more. 60% of us admit to making impulse purchases, and shockingly, nearly 80% of those items get forgotten or tossed aside. So why do we keep wanting stuff we don't need? The answer is in how our brains work, and how marketers exploit that. This video will explore the real reasons behind our constant need to buy. We'll dive into strategies to stop wanting more and show how you can find joy in living with less. By the end, you'll discover the surprising power of simplicity and how frugal living can give you freedom. Ready to take control? Let's dive in. Chapter 1: The Urge to Splurge. Understanding why we crave stuff. Have you ever stopped to wonder why we always want to buy more? It's not just about owning things. There's a deeper reason. Advertisements are everywhere, on our phones, TVs, and even in our conversations. The average person sees around 4,000 to 10,000 ads per day, all trying to convince us we need something new. No wonder we feel the urge to buy. This is what's called perceived obsolescence. It's the belief that what we have isn't good enough anymore. Companies feed on that feeling. An American author, Vance Packard, in The Hidden Persuaders, explained that advertising shapes our desires by tapping into our insecurities, making us feel like we're missing out unless we buy. Ever heard of FOMO, fear of missing out? That's what marketers thrive on. What's the strategy to counter this? Awareness. When we recognize that our desire to shop comes from external triggers, not real needs, we take back control. Start paying attention to why you feel like shopping. Is it boredom? Stress? Advertising? Noticing these patterns helps stop the cycle. You can even take practical steps, like unsubscribing from promotional emails or setting social media limits. By becoming more conscious of the emotional triggers, you begin to ask yourself before each purchase, do I really need this, or am I just trying to fill a void? That simple question can be a game changer. Chapter 2: The Minimalist Mindset Shift. From wanting to being. The real power of minimalism comes from a mindset shift. It's not just about owning fewer things, but also about being content with what you have. The phrase "less is more" is central here. It's about the idea that the less you own, the more mental space and freedom you have. You don't need to live in an empty white room with one chair to be a minimalist. It's about intentionality. Joshua Becker, author of The More of Less, says, "Minimalism is the intentional promotion of the things we most value and the removal of anything that distracts us from it." This means choosing carefully what stays in your life, both physical items and mental clutter. One strategy is to adopt the one-in, one-out rule. For every new item you bring into your home, let go of something. This keeps things balanced and prevents accumulation. You can also try a 30-day no-buy challenge. For 1 month, commit to not purchasing anything non-essential. It's a great way to reset your habits and see how much you can live without. Over time, your mindset shifts from wanting to buy things to finding joy in what you already own. It's incredibly freeing. Studies have shown that people who prioritize experiences over possessions are happier. In fact, a 20-year study by Dr. Thomas Gilovich at Cornell University found that experiential purchases provide more lasting satisfaction than material ones. Take a second to subscribe, and we'll dive straight back into the rest of the video. Chapter 3: Declutter Your Desires. Detoxing from consumerism. Before you declutter your physical space, start with your mind. Reducing your desire to buy is often about mental detoxing. We are so used to the dopamine rush from buying things that we forget how to feel content without it. Dopamine is that feel-good chemical in our brains that spikes when we shop or get something new. But here's the thing. It doesn't last long. The thrill fades and we're left wanting more. A key strategy to detox is to reduce your exposure to consumerist messages. Start with a media fast. Psychologist Dr. Susan Lin notes that cutting down on media consumption significantly reduces the urge to buy. Take a week or even a day off from scrolling through Instagram or browsing shopping sites. You'll notice how much less you think about buying stuff. Next, identify your emotional triggers. Are you shopping when you're stressed or bored? Research from the Journal of Consumer Research shows that emotional shopping is one of the most common causes of impulse buying. When you feel the urge to shop, ask yourself what you're really feeling. Often, we're trying to fix an emotion, not fulfill a need. Another tactic? Practice gratitude. Keeping a gratitude journal helps shift your focus from what you lack to what you already have. When you're grateful, the desire to accumulate more lessens. Research from Harvard Medical School found that people who practice gratitude regularly report higher levels of contentment and satisfaction. Chapter 4. The High of Less. Finding joy in simplicity. Owning less isn't just about saving money or space. It's about creating room for happiness. When you clear out clutter, you're also clearing mental clutter. Research from Princeton University shows that physical clutter can overwhelm the brain, making it harder to focus. So, by reducing stuff, you're boosting mental clarity. But there's more to it. Courtney Carver, author of Soulful Simplicity, says, "Minimalism is the path, not the point." This means it's not about counting your things, but about finding joy in the space and freedom minimalism creates. It's the feeling that comes from a clean, open space, like taking a deep breath after a long day. One strategy to find that joy is to focus on quality, not quantity. Instead of buying 5 cheap items, invest in one high-quality piece that will last. This way, you're not only spending less in the long run, but also building a deeper appreciation for what you have. Studies show that people who focus on fewer, high-quality possessions are 30% more likely to report higher life satisfaction. Another tip? Practice mindful consumption. Before you buy, ask yourself, does this bring real value to my life? This habit helps shift your mindset from impulsive purchases to thoughtful decisions. According to a study from the University of Surrey, mindful consumption leads to a stronger sense of fulfillment and less buyer's remorse. Chapter 5. Smart Substitutes. Replacing buying with doing. The urge to shop often comes from a need to feel busy or fulfilled. But you don't have to spend money to get that feeling. Instead of buying things, replace that impulse with meaningful activities. James Wallman, in his book Stuffication, talks about experientialism, the idea that we find more happiness in doing than owning. One way to start is by diving into hobbies. If you're bored and tempted to shop, try something creative instead: painting, journaling, or gardening. Studies show that engaging in hobbies can reduce stress by up to 34%. Plus, you'll find that these activities give a lasting sense of satisfaction, unlike the temporary high from shopping. Volunteering is another smart substitute. It helps you connect with others, feel a sense of purpose, and keep you from spending time and money shopping. Research from Harvard shows that volunteering improves happiness, self-esteem, and even physical health. So, it's a win-win for your mind and wallet. You can also substitute social shopping trips with other activities like hiking, cooking, or having a game night with friends. It's all about building experiences instead of collecting things. When you shift your focus to doing rather than buying, you fill your life with memories, not clutter. Plus, studies from San Francisco State University found that people who prioritize experiences over possessions are 20% happier overall. Your subscription helps us create more awesome videos. Click that button now.